Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is YAHMAD. So we're going to be looking at paper 2 from the Information Technology course, May-June 2019. And this is now part 3 of the database task. So as I've said in the previous videos, paper 2 can be quite heavy on either spreadsheets or databases. So we've been looking at the first 2 parts of this database task. So please check out the previous videos. We got up to the point where we've normalized the data and we've imported and created a relational database. And now we're going to be doing question 18. So this is a database file that we have right now. We've imported 4 tables. We've created the relationship. And we're now ready to tackle question 18. So this is going to be split into 3 different parts, you could say. So let's start off. Let's read the questions. Create a report to identify how many chefs and trainee chefs work at each venue. Okay, the report must be in a tabular format. So that's going to be the last part. I'm just going to highlight that, but change the color with grid lines and have the venue names and addresses as row headings. So that's part of the final report. Okay, now the first thing we need to do is we need to create a query to work out how many chefs and trainee chefs we have at each venue. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go to my access, go to create query design. Let's add all the tables. Okay, make sure you got the links between all of the tables. So what we want is to create a query, okay? And in a query, what we need to be looking for is chefs and trainee chefs, the venue name and addresses that they work at. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to double click job description because obviously we need to search for all of the chefs. I need to also include the venue name and the addresses. So if I click on run, we should have 169 employees. But only what we want to see is chef or trainee chef. So what we can do is we can just search for anything that contains chef. So we can just put star, chef, star. Or you could have done chef or trainee chef, but I think this is easier. Run. So we have 30 records, that's fine. And what we also need to do is we need a field to count all of these numbers. So create a report how many chefs. Yeah, so we need to work out how many chefs are going to be working at each venue. So the next part of this query is to create a crosstab. But what I'm going to do is include an employee ID, and I'm just going to drag this to the front. And this field will be used to calculate how many chefs we have and how many trainee chefs we have. So if I save this as, just call it chefs. Okay, once we've done that, I'm going to click on create query wizard, crosstab. Okay, I want to go to my queries and select chefs. Next. Okay, and what we want to do is which fields do you want as row headings? So the row headings will be, let me just go back to here. Yeah, so it'll be venue names and addresses as row headings. Okay, and if we go to next, at the top, what we want is the job description. Okay, so it'll show trainee chef and chef. Next, we want to count, okay, by employee ID. Next, and then finish. Okay, so what we have is each venue. So that's the first venue. We've got 4 employees at this venue, and we've got 2 trainee chefs or 2 chefs and 2 trainee chefs. So this is basically what we have to do. So remember, guys, the first part was to create a query just to search for all of the chefs, trainee and chefs. Then we did a crosstab and we included this information as row headings, and then this is the columns. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to make the report, okay, in a tabular format. So we can just go to create report wizard from the cross tab. We don't need a total of employee IDs. So this field was used to sorry guys, count. So we don't need to show this field. Let me just send them all back. So we want venue name, address, and then chef, and then training chef. Next, next, next. Tabular, yep. Portrait. If I go up here, guys, if you remember back to the first video, all reports must be on a single portrait page. The font size must be 12. Okay. So next, do we have a title? Yeah, I didn't. I got rid of the totals. Do we have a title? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this as a title. And number of trainee chefs and chefs at each venue. I think that's fine. Finish. So we have something that looks like this. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to format this so it looks a bit neater. So if we go to design view or layout view, get rid of that. Just press control. We can make this a bit smaller. Just checking nothing's been cut off. This a little bit smaller. This we can move across. So I'm pressing control to select the field name and then the data. Move that across like that. And obviously you can see the heading's a little bit cut off. There we go. That's fine for now. Okay, what I'm going to do is go to design view. And I'm just going to select all of these. I'm just pressing control, or can I just draw like a table, a box, and go to home and make sure the size is 12. Okay, what else do we need to include? Grid lines. So we go back to axis, report design, property sheet, border style. Let's just put that as solid. Let's go to view, and that's it. It's done. Okay, we just have maybe a little bit of space here that we can resolve. So design view. Just pressing control to select everything, and just a left cursor key, direction key on my keyboard. Just to move that across. Print preview. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. Just one last check to see if any data is cut off. Yeah, so just to recap, guys, what we had to do, I made a query to find all the chefs. Then we did a cross tab to calculate the count of the number of chefs and trainee chefs only. Okay, and then we had to create the report. Right, I think that's done. Question, actually, before we move on to question 19, for the sake of the evidence document, guys, so remember in the first video, we talked about the evaluation. Okay, what I would also include in your evidence document is, let me just close down everything actually. Save. Save. All of your files will be obviously uploaded. You're not going to be printing anything off. But for your evidence document, guys, what I will do is just take a screenshot and place each of your tables into the evidence document. Okay. So from design view, you want to take a screenshot. Okay. Then also include a screenshot showing your relationships. So if I do show you the mark scheme, this is the mark scheme, and you can see we've got screenshots showing each of your tables. Maybe the examiner can open up your database file and can look at that himself But I think it's just best to include the screenshots into your evidence document as well. Just make it as easy as possible to achieve those marks. Maybe as well, if you want to do, you can just double click on these lines and you can get this screenshot as well, showing the different relationships as well. And obviously, oops, I didn't click on anything there. You can obviously take the screenshot of these boxes as well. Right, the last question is, name another IT application that could store the original data without using a database. And what we did was we had an Excel document. So the software, you can say, is spreadsheets that could contain all of the database. But what you now need to do is explain the advantage and disadvantages, the advantages only of a relational database for this solution compared to this other method that you've named. So these are the things that you can mention. Obviously, spreadsheet is the application you can use as well. However, if you have a relational database, it's easier to search using queries for particular data. There's no need for different worksheets, as all of the data can be created, combined using queries and reports into one. Okay, would be easier to edit and amend data in a database, and obviously there's less chance of making mistakes in a database. Right, guys, I hope this database tasks make sense. Please drop your comments below. Interesting always to hear your feedback. And good luck in the exams if you have exams coming up. So please like and share and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.